Hey guys, this is Miss West. We're going to start talking about a new topic, our first topic for fourth quarter, and it's going to be quadrilaterals. This shouldn't be anything new. You guys have been talking about shapes since you were in kindergarten. We are just getting a little more in depth with our shapes. So you can see up here that I have kind of what looks like a big umbrella, and that's the way that we're going to think about these shapes. For quadrilaterals, okay, it's a very big topic. Okay, there's lots of different shapes that are considered a quadrilateral. I have 4 shapes right here that are considered to be quadrilaterals. We're going to talk about what those are in just a little bit. Okay, the first thing that we have to identify is we have to identify what makes it a quadrilateral. So when we talk about quadrilaterals, we're going to talk about sides, angles, and vertices. And as you can tell by all 4 of those shapes, they all have 4 sides. What you can also tell by each of those 4 shapes is that they have 4 angles. And what you can also tell is that they have 4 vertices. Okay? When we talk about vertices, we're going to talk about the corners of the shape. So I'm going to pull you guys a little bit closer there just so you can see it a little bit better. This shape right here, we are going to call it a trapezoid. Okay, I'm going to write down below it. This shape right here may look like something that maybe you've flown before called a kite. We are going to talk about this shape right here, which is called an arrow. And we are going to talk about this shape right here called a parallelogram. And that's going to be one of our most important shapes that you guys are going to need to know about. With our parallelogram, you can tell that I've highlighted it in red, and then I've also drawn down here our parallelogram club. So when we talk about all these different shapes, we're going to talk about the kinds of club that they are in because many different shapes can be considered a parallelogram as well. So when we talk about a parallelogram, our rule for a parallelogram is that it must have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So you'll see on the 2 parallelograms that I've drawn here, and let me go over these so they're a little bit darker for you guys to see. Parallel sides are any sides that can run side to side. Parallel sides never touch. So you can see in both of these shapes, you can identify that this is one set of parallel sides, and this right here is also another set of parallel sides. Those sides will never touch once they are made into a shape. Now, inside of our parallelogram club, we also have our rhombus club. And our rhombus club, the rule is that they must have 4 equal sides. They cannot get into the rhombus club unless they have 4 equal sides. You can see on my rhombus right here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Those lines indicate that opposite sides are equal. So this side and this side are equal, this side and this side are equal. Okay? Then, after our rhombus club, we have what we call our rectangle club. Okay? The rule in order to get into our rectangle club is that it must have 4 right angles. So, So you can see on here that I have identified there is 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles. Okay? These right angles are identified by making a square shape off of 2 of the sides. Okay? We know that a right angle measures 90 degrees. So we know that each of these angles right here measure 90 degrees. When we add them all up, the inside angles of a rectangle measure 360 degrees. Last but not least, we have our square. And I know our square is very tiny. I'm going to try and move the camera that way that you guys can see. Okay? Our square is what we like to call a VIP, very important polygon. Okay? The square, it gets into all of the clubs. Okay? It has 4 equal sides, and it also has 4 equal angles. The angles also measure 90 degrees, which is what helps it get into the rectangular club. And the sides are all equal, which helps it get into the rhombus club. Okay? So over here on the side, where you see that I have blank get into all the clubs, we know now that I can put the word square there. So squares get into all of the clubs. Okay? So quickly as a review, we've talked about quadrilaterals. They have 4 sides, 4 angles, 4 vertices. These are some examples of quadrilaterals. We take our parallelogram, we move it down. Parallelogram club. Okay? In order to get into the parallelogram club, it must have 2 pairs of parallel sides. A rhombus has 2 pairs of parallel sides, a rectangle has 2 pairs of parallel sides, and a square does as well. That means these are all in the parallelogram club. In the rhombus club, it must have 4 equal sides. A square does, so that puts it into the rhombus club as well. A rectangle, however, does not have equal sides. It has 4 right angles. Okay, they each measure 90 degrees. A square has 4 right angles as well. They measure 90 degrees. That's what puts a square into the rectangle club. Okay, I hope this video helps you. You will be getting another video also this week on the math antics that will be teaching you more about quadrilaterals and go a little bit farther in depth.